Welcome, everyone. So good to be here. And the fact that we can all be together, that's the most important thing. So I'm Brian Jones, and I'm a trainer in heartfulness. I've been a trainer for a really long time. I think I was made a trainer in 1988, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a good number of decades now. Oh, wow. I'm getting older, but I feel young. I really do. So, first thing I want to say is that feel free to put your name and where you're viewing from in the chat. That would be just great. I always like to, uh, interact. If you have any questions today that you would like to ask, you can put them in the chat. So the theme I had tentatively said is optimizing our practice. And so I am going to talk about some things related to that. And but this morning, sometimes things come to me right before I'm going to do a live session. And so this morning, some thoughts were coming to me about relationships, and so I thought, I'm gonna add that in today and talk about that. So please go ahead and put your name and where you're tuning in from in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. I should be able to see that coming up on my screen any moment, hopefully. Let's see. Okay. All right. Mahmood, my brother from Sydney. Great. Nice to know you're there. Nice to know you're there. You're always there. I know that. Ganesh, great. Welcome. Asusi, welcome. Corey from North Carolina. Hey, Corey, welcome. Yeah, great. I'm glad you're dialing in here. So fantastic. So look, I'm going to start off. Uma and Shrikar from Mangalore. Oh, is that by Bangalore? I've not heard of Bangalore, but I've been to Bangalore many, many times. Olga from Germany. Hi, Olga. Heartfulness, that always gets to me. I love that name, Heartfulness. And I kind of want to know what Heartfulness is. What is Heartfulness? It's something you're making. I have a feeling you're an artist, craftsperson of sorts. Aaron Floria from Ohio. Hey, we're neighbors. I'm in Ohio. I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. So great. Nice to know you're there. I'm going to talk for about maybe 25 minutes or so today on various things. And then we're going to meditate together at 10 o'clock Eastern time. We'll meditate for about a half an hour. And that's the main thing that we come together for, is really the meditation. Look, we can read a lot of things and we can listen to a lot of talks. But when it comes down to bringing about inner growth, which results in change, it's all about going within and letting the mind settle and tapping into our infinite wellspring of grace that's so always so very present within. All we have to do is tap into it, and that's what we do when we meditate together. So we'll get to that in a minute. Towards Divinity, welcome. You say, hi, Brian, how are you? Happy to see you. Well, I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to see you, and I'm in a very happy mood. I feel so much love today in my heart. I just feel so much love. It's just very, very special today. I think it's coming from all of you, actually, so it's all up to you. Jyoti, hi, from Dubai. Fantastic. I've been to Dubai a couple of times. Well, maybe at least one time. It really had a wonderful time. I was there with one of our spiritual masters, Master Chariji. And, when we were in Dubai, we were there for probably about 5-6 days. And Chariji took us on this incredible adventure out into the desert, in these Land Rovers where we were flying over the sand dunes and the wheels leaving the ground. And we wound up just at dusk, in a beautiful oasis, like a dip down in the desert. And all these tents were set up, and there was a stage, and there was music, and there was all sorts of food and camel rides and a hookah bar and so many things. It was really, Chariji always used to take us on these beautiful adventures. And I loved Dubai. The people were wonderful there. So thank you for being here today. Piyush, hi. RDC Painting, Rama from California. Good morning. Great. Good morning. Okay, so I'm going to start the session off now. I've been reading on and off, and you probably know this if you've been tuning in. I've been reading from a book that is published by many people, but it's also published by Heartfulness publication, and it's called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. And so James Allen was a contemporary of our first spiritual guide, Lalaji. He lived at the end of the 1800s and into the early 1900s. And he lived in England, and he wrote this book called As a Man Thinketh. Now, there's some versions of this now that have been more updated, because this was an early Old English kind of style of the language. So there's some versions you can find that are more updated in the language. But it's a beautiful book, and I want to just read a couple things today before we get started. Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. It is the result of long and patient effort in self-control. Its presence is an indicator of ripened experience and of a more than ordinary knowledge of the laws and operations of thought. A person becomes calm in the measure that they understand themselves, a thought-evolved being. For such knowledge necessitates the understanding of others as the result of thought. And as you develop a right understanding and see more and more clearly the internal relations of things by the actions of cause and effect, you cease to fuss and fume and worry and grieve, and remain more poised, steadfast, and serene. So this is a very interesting paragraph. This chapter is called Serenity. And so in this chapter, James Allen is relating serenity and calmness of mind to understanding oneself, and also understanding relationships and the workings of the mind. Because the truth is that we are in all types of relationships. And surprisingly, the biggest relationship that we're in that we don't really think about very often is we're in a relationship with ourselves. And I think most, if not all of you, will relate to the fact that, there's sort of two things going on in us. And they're sort of, it's like two voices in our head. There's the still, quiet voice, mostly silent voice of our conscience. Then there is the active voice in our head that's very influenced by all of our past experiences and impressions, all of the things that have influenced us. So we're in relationship with that voice. Between that active voice and us as the witness, we're in relationship with it. And this relationship can be very complicated because, how many times do we have an opportunity or something comes up for us that we think, I think I'd really like to go do this. And then immediately this other voice pops up. Oh, you can't do that. You're not going to have enough time to do that. You're not really, you don't have the qualifications to do that. Oh, you might not fit in. There's our mind, our relationship within, it sabotages us, so often. And it causes us to be doubtful and fearful. And, we need we're looking for ways to overcome being doubtful and being fearful. And to do so, really, we just can't up and get rid of those feelings per se. But what we can do is we can develop the opposite qualities of being courageous, of developing courage to face, not be afraid to jump into new opportunities and new things in life that we've never experienced. And this is when we have to not let that voice of doubt influence us. And so this relationship with ourselves is deep and complicated. And this inner relationship then plays out in all of our other relationships that we have with people, with our loved ones, with our friends, with our schoolmates, with our coworkers. It's complicated. It gets more and more complicated. So, in life, I think, we've heard this come up in Heartfulness. Daji's been talking about it. I've certainly been writing about it for a long time on Quora. We're talking about this diversity, unity and diversity. Unity and diversity. This is sort of the key, is that when we can really understand at the root level that we are all connected and that we share the same very powerful inner space, inner connection at the deepest level of that conscience, the level of the soul. When we can experience that together, which we do in meditation, at the end of the meditation, we feel such a sense of unity in diversity. Because has anything changed with who we are or our relationship with ourselves or relationship with each other? The only thing that's changed is we've taken an action. And the action is that we're going to sit down and we're going to go within and we're going to reach the inner resource where we are all the same self. Where we're all the same self. When we say self, capital S, it's the same self in everybody. So when we meditate together, at the end of the meditation, when we start to come out of the meditation, we have an opportunity for maybe a few minutes, and we want to expand that, but for at least a few minutes, where we're really feeling and experiencing and witnessing that sense of inner unity, where we all just feel everything is so wonderful. It's just great. It's home. And so the key, I think, to reaching a state of serenity, as James Allen says, in our relationship with ourself and in our relationship with others, is that we have to be able to experience. We have to be able to experience something other than this relationship. We have to experience unity. And that's what we do when we meditate. And that's why, meditation, and for me particularly, heartfulness meditation is such an important tool to integrate into our life, because it causes us to grow. It enables us to let go of our opinions and our ideas and our judgments and our comparing ourselves with others. We can start to let go of those things Now, I'm not going to go on a bandwagon and say, oh, heartfulness is the cure-all for everything, and meditation is the solution to all life's problems. Okay, because the reality is that it's a process. Okay, so it's meditation. It's not medication. It's not medication. It's a process. And this is a process that we participate in for our whole life, because we are a seed that's blossoming and coming to fruition over the course of our entire life. There's no quick and easy, oh, I'm going to do this meditation for a week and I'll be totally transformed. Well, you'll have benefits for sure, but this process of growth that's so intrinsic to our evolution, it happens over the course of our entire life. And this is why a practice like meditation is something we want to get used to doing every day. Now, let's talk about that a little bit. Now, I interact with a lot of young people from around the world. And the one thing that becomes very, very clear is that I haven't found maybe any of these young people who are really rising before dawn and doing an hour of meditation. I know that they're out there, but for the most part, it's hard to take up a practice of meditation and do it as prescribed. Okay. And we know that morning is considered the best time to meditate. But for young people, your body clock, your interests, staying up late, talking to friends, all these things, I know I've talked to many young people who said that that they were hopeful that the prayer might be, or the maxim that we have might be changed to, rise before noon instead of rise before dawn. So, look, I understand that you get up when you can, and so what I want to say about this, and the reason I'm bringing this up, as far as optimizing your practice, in today's busy life, it's very difficult for many of us to really find the right routine. And I think this word routine is great and is the most essential thing if we can find a way to do it. Now, what I would say is that, okay, you're not getting up at 5 a.m. and meditating. All right. But you may be getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning. Can you get up at 7:30? Can you get up at 7:30? And just try that for a week. Get up at 7:30 now. Meditate for that difference. Meditate for 30 minutes. Can you get up at 7:45 instead of 8? And meditate for 15 minutes. That's an easier place to start. And at least then what happens is it shows to yourself that you're making an effort and you're sincere, that yes, I know this is something that is really going to help me and I'm really going to grow from. Can I push myself just a little tiny bit and fit in 15 minutes of meditation before I go to school or before I go to work in the morning? Okay. So that's what I'd like you to attempt and see the benefits from that. And I know there's, different kind of challenges out there, like the 12-week challenge, the 90-day challenge. And, start with a week. Start with a week. If we put these big goals on ourselves, it starts to become so big that we feel discouraged. So we have to really, to optimize our practice, we have to start small. We have to start small, because let me share something with you. Faith dawns inside from having a series of small successes. Faith dawns, and we could replace that with confidence. Confidence dawns in us. We feel confident when we can have a series of very small successes. We don't have to win the Nobel Prize. We don't have to win the Oscar. We don't have to be, the top of the class. I mean, that's okay too. But if we can just do small things each day that push ourselves a little tiny bit, this is something that optimizes ourselves. And we feel like we succeeded. Now, I want to share something with you. I want to share with you the very first thing that I do every single day when I get up. The very first thing that I do every single day without fail is I make my bed. I do it before anything. I get out of bed and I make my bed. And I just don't pull the covers up. I mean, I make it so that it's nice, smooth, looks good. Pillows are all in place. And I learned this a number of years ago. I had watched something on YouTube where someone was saying, if you start your day with the first act is an act of accomplishment, and it's something so small as fixing the bed. I'll tell you, that was a big tool for me. It really helped me. And every day I feel like I've started the day with this tiny little accomplishment. But that tiny little accomplishment leads to the next accomplishment, which is, of course, I'm going to go wash up, brush my teeth, do all that stuff. But then I sit down and I meditate. I make my bed, wash up, and I meditate. That's how I start my day. So I'm going to suggest that you take up small things to optimize your practice, like the evening cleaning. For me, this was the hardest thing when I was beginning heartfulness, many decades ago. Cleaning was the hardest thing, and I hear many people say cleaning is the hardest thing for them. Okay, but can you do it for 5 minutes? Can you do it for 5 minutes? Can you do it with a real determined thought? Can you just be determined when you sit down that all the day's influences are leaving me? Done. Now, I want to give all of you a tip about the cleaning that's going to turn this around for you in such a really amazing way. For those of you who are new, let me first say that in heartfulness, there's a few practices. One, we have a morning meditation. We meditate on the heart. In the evening, we do something called evening cleaning, where we use our will and make the suggestion that all of the day's impressions or influences are now leaving me. And they're going out my back in the form of smoke or vapor, straight up my back from the top of my head to my tailbone. And I just focus on that smoke or vapor leaving. You don't really think about the events of the day. You just feel everything is leaving. That's what we call the evening cleaning process. Now, in my experience, in talking with people who have taken up heartfulness and even people who have been doing it for a very long time, usually people have the attitude that, I got to sit down and do my cleaning because I got to get rid of all this stuff. I got to clean myself. I'm full of stuff and I got to get rid of it. I'm full of impressions. I got to get rid of that. Generally speaking, this is the attitude that people have. Well, what I would like to share with you is something that's going to change all of that. So instead of ever having that idea, even before you sit down to do your cleaning, just a change of attitude, and the attitude changes this. I can't wait to uncover the divine in my heart. Right? That's it. What a shift. Now, there's no thinking about, oh, I'm full of grossness. I'm full of stuff I got to clean out. I got to do my cleaning. I got to apply my willpower. No. Now it's, oh, I can't wait to uncover the divine in my heart. It's so beautiful. And I'll tell you what happens, and you're going to experience this when you try this. Okay, here's what happens. The cleaning process goes so effortlessly. Okay, because grossness can't exist where there's divinity. So now you have made the suggestion that the divine is there in your heart, right? And now you just sit down and you begin this simple process, and you'll find that the cleaning goes like this. And in no time, you feel so clear inside, and you feel so connected inside, and you feel that presence of the divine in your heart. And now your cleaning is even shorter. I can, you try this. I mean, there were times when I was doing my cleaning, the old attitude way, thinking, oh, I got this grossness. And I would sit down thinking, I got so much work to do. And I would sit there for a half an hour cleaning, until I felt like I was getting clearer. But when I discovered this other attitude, I would sit down and my cleaning would be done in 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. It was effortless. So please, just change the way you approach the cleaning. Sit down and do it for 5 minutes. You're optimizing your practice. This is optimizing your practice. Now, all of you can do these couple of things. All of us together can do these couple of things. These are very easy ways that we can really get started. And the main thing is that it's something that we can at least commit to doing every day. That doesn't take a whole lot of time because we're optimizing now how we're going to do this, you see. And you'll start to see that everything in life begins to shift in a very positive way. Why? Because we're making peace with ourselves. We're transcending any ideas of relationship with myself. We're becoming integrated. We're becoming the true meaning of the word yoga, which is union. Mind, body, spirit, all these things are becoming united in ourselves. And you know what happens? And you'll see this happen for yourself over time, is that the two voices that have been conflicting in our inner relationship, they go away forever. And you will be left with just your own voice, your authentic voice. And that will be guided by that still silent conscience. And that's what we attain. We attain that by doing this simple practice. So it's very beautiful. All right. So I think with that, we should probably get ready to meditate together. And let me just check in with, see who else has joined in. Rosleim, welcome. Gauri Shankar, I hope I'm saying that right. Champa, welcome, Champa. I remember your name from last week. Deva Reddy, Gopala Krishna, great. Shashi, welcome. Ramila, welcome. So Asusi, you say, Brian, thank you for expressing my inner thoughts on words. I am not alone. Makes the journey so pleasurable. Yes, you're right. You are not alone. We are all in this together. We all face the same difficulties. We all have the same problems we have to deal with, but we all have the same heart. We also have the same potential. We can all help each other and support each other. We all connect in that same beautiful space within. So that's the important thing we keep in mind. Thank you, Brian. Very helpful and encouraging speaking from Aaron. Sure, of course. Madhusudan, welcome Madhusudan. Nitin, Bhutan Kiran, and Kosha. Okay, some more people joining in. So great. Thank you for that. Santu, great. Okay. So look, now's the time, the best time of this session here is when we meditate together and we put some of these things into practice. And it's so easy when we do it together. It's even more profound. We're all working as one. So let's experience this together. So I invite you to sit in a comfortable place. And it's important to sit comfortably, okay? Because we need to forget about our body. If you're uncomfortable, you're not going to forget about your body. You're going to be saying, I'm uncomfortable. My knee hurts or my arm hurts. So let's sit comfortably. If you need to have your back supported, sit with your back supported. Okay. So let's close our eyes very gently. Let's take a slow, deep breath in. Let it go. And feel your body relax. Now I'd like you to feel that your arms are relaxing. Your hands, your palms and fingers, and just feel the weight of your hands and your arms in your lap. Now let your shoulders relax and drop down. Very gently bring your awareness to the area of your heart. And feel your heart area is just softening. And revealing a lightness within. And now let's rest on the source of light, of love and wisdom, already present within our heart. Feel the source is inviting you homewards. Let's stay with that thought. That's all. And just take a moment and stay in that beautiful inner peace. Let's make the thought that all of our friends and family, our loved ones, also are enjoying this deep, peaceful feeling. And now include your city and your country. Everyone is a part of this great field of love. Whenever you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Yes. Beautiful. All right, everyone. So happy that we could all be together and meditate together today. And I appreciate you very much. Manju, thank you. Vidya, Shilpa, Lena, hi. I appreciate you, and please let's carry this forward, this beautiful feeling of peace and love, and share it with those around you. And I look forward to us meeting together again next week. And also, I want to just say, please don't hesitate to share with your friends, your loved ones, this session that is available to all freely every Monday, and invite others to join in so we can all be a part of that. All right, all the best. And as I say every week, let's stay with the heart. Love to all. See you.